Welcome back to the Integrated Leader Podcast. I am Lauren Marie, and today we are stepping into a conversation that's overdue, not just in our organizations, but in ourselves. Today's episode is called Rewriting the DEI Narrative for the New Era. Let's begin with the hard truth. The DEI landscape has become, obviously, a mess. Not because it doesn't matter, because it does, deeply, but because it's been hijacked, over-formalized, under-lived, and many leaders are now too exhausted, too confused, and too skeptical and too afraid to engage with it authentically. So they opt out, they go quiet, and now with this administration, they move it to the side of the desk, hoping no one will notice and we can all be done with it. But here's what integrated leaders know. When something becomes performative, the remedy isn't retreat, it's realignment. Let's call the current model what it is. A well-intentioned overcorrection. DEI was launched in many places from crisis. And when we build from urgency and optics, we often get systems that look right, but feel off. Here's what we ended up with. Policies without presence, statements without culture, and language without lived experience. That's why so many teams are quietly rolling their eyes or holding their breath when DEI gets mentioned. They're waiting to see if the next initiative is just more window dressing or if someone's finally willing to dig into what really shapes culture. Power, proximity, and unspoken norms. So how do we lead now in this new era? Well, we start by going inward. Not into guilt or fear, but into awareness. Because here's the esoteric truth beneath all of this. Inclusion isn't about politics, it's about presence. It's about whether people feel safe bringing their full intelligence, emotions, relations, and strategies to the table. And if someone is shrinking or translating or second-guessing how to show up in your meetings, you're losing access to the very thing you hired them for. So what does an integrated approach look like? You stop outsourcing inclusion to other departments. This is your job. Your meeting, your language, your systems. Your ability to hear differences without defending yourself is not a personal virtue. It's a leadership skill. You design for depth and not optics. Forget the buzzwords for a minute and ask your team, what helps you do your best work here? What makes you hesitate? And where are we designing for comfort, not contribution? You treat DEI not as a fix, but as a frontier. Something that helps you see more clearly, decide more wisely, and build with more complexity and clarity. A few practical signals that you're doing it well. 1, you've interrupted sameness in decision-making, not just in hiring. You've updated how you define leadership potential, and you've gotten feedback that someone felt seen, not just included. And most importantly, you've shifted from managing perception to shaping culture. That's the work now, not better messaging, deeper alignment. Integrated leadership isn't about being right. It's about being real. It's about being willing to say, we missed the mark. We built this for ourselves, not everyone. And we're learning, and we're still in it. Because when you embody that kind of clarity, when your values aren't just spoken but structured in, you don't have to keep convincing people that you care. They feel it. That's it for today on the Integrated Leader Podcast. Don't worry about getting the language perfect. Worry about building systems that reflect what you claim to believe. Because inclusion isn't a department, it's a discipline. And your willingness to do the inner and outer work is what sets you apart. I'll see you tomorrow.